Hi, you're watching Poll Bazi with Aditi Prasad and with Hindustan Times, of course. And with me is Ramesh Vinayak, our executive editor in Punjab, in Chandigarh. Now, just yesterday, Punjab Congress had heaved a sigh of relief that the race for the CM phase is finally over. Rahul Gandhi, he he attended this rally in Ludhiana where he announced Channi as the CM face for the Congress party in Punjab. He was flanked by, of course, Sidhu and Channi, and both of them, all three of them, of course, did this huge display of unity on the stage. But no sooner than that was settled, there's another big blow to the Congress in Punjab. Senior Congress leader Sunil Jakhar and former Punjab Congress president, too. He announced that he is retiring from active electoral politics. Uh, Clearly, he was going to join us in a bit, but I'm hoping that he will join us even now. But till the time he joins us, I have with me Ramesh. Ramesh, what's going on in Punjab Congress?
Hi, good evening, Aditi. You said that yesterday the Congress took the call on its chief ministerial face in Punjab. It was a much anticipated decision, though pretty much on expected lines. So Rahul Gandhi has finally anointed Charanjit Singh Channi as CM face, and with this, the curtain has kind of come down on that constant war of words, which was happening between Channi and Sidhu, and a kind of power tussle, which was actually undermining the party ahead of this very crucial poll on February 20th. So the party has opted for Channi, who was seen to be a natural choice for leading the party into this election because Channi's, case has been strong from the word go. As we all know that when Channi was kind of elevated to chief ministerial position in September last year after Captain Amrinder Singh's unceremonious removal, he was surely a surprise pick. He was definitely not among the front runners, as now the report suggests that Sunil Jakhar was tipped to be the favorite, as 42 of 78 Congress MLAs had supported Sunil Jakhar as a replacement for Captain Amrinder,
In fact,
followed
Sunil
by,
Jakhar ne bhi bola hai ye baat. He has also come out and said it, that
yes,
he had the support of these 42 MLAs at that time.
that's right, absolutely. And it's a known fact now that, Sunil Jakhar was, the, key favorite of MLAs. But in the Congress scheme of things, Charan Singh Channi emerged as a surprise choice. As we all know, that he has been a sort of political discovery of the year for Congress. He
Hmm.
is the first, Dalit Chief Minister of Congress in Punjab ever since reorganization of the state in 1966, when the political map of Punjab was redrawn.
Hmm.
So he, in a way, is a mascot of Dalit empowerment. This is how the Congress looks at him. And in last three and a half months since he has been chief minister, Aditi, Channi has really cultivated the image of an Aam Aadmi. He is a politician with a grassroots approach, and he also kind of made a string of populist announcements, soaps, which were seen to be low-hanging fruits, which in a way, uh, you know, struck a chord with the voters of Punjab, and his appeal has transcended, the Dalit uh, kind of piece of the state politics. Now, Channi's elevation is also important from the perspective that Punjab has the highest population of Dalits population wise. We have 32% of states population belongs to scheduled caste community, which is very significant, poll swinger, in the state. And so the Congress, by renominating Channi, hopes that he would be able to garner a major chunk of these Dalit votes for the party, and so he can be a game changer. This is how they
But
look at him.
but tell me, so we were talking earlier, and we there was a thought that came out that Channi's really become the political discovery of the year for the Congress. He wasn't going to be the chief minister, then he became the chief minister. Sunil Jakhar is out of the race, was out of the race. Then came Sidhu saying, "No, I want to be the chief minister," and he thought that Channi will just be an interim one. But Channi did make his place there, and he is sort of a very. Please tell me, what is your assessment about Sidhu right now? Because there is a united front that they have put, but do you think that's going to last? Sidhu being Sidhu, he is mercurial in his approach.
Well, Aditi, Sidhu had played a very important role in dislodging Captain Amrinder. We all know that ever since he was he was dropped from Captain Amrinder's cabinet as minister after 2019 Lok Sabha election, he has been gunning for Captain Amrinder, and eventually he was able to create a kind of narrative which the High Command bought into, that he hadn't delivered on the key promises that the Congress had made, before 2017 election. So Sidhu played a very important role in the downfall of Captain Amrinder. So that's where his ambition, sprung from. He thought that he is a natural successor to Captain Amrinder Singh. But party somehow, based on the internal feedback, and kind of reports from the MLAs whom the party had contacted, they didn't kind of found it prudent to elevate Sidhu as a chief minister. And mind you, Aditi, Sidhu had joined the Congress only 5 years ago, just before 2017 election. And his rise has been, meteoric. I mean, he has risen very quickly. He got, nominated state Congress president. Earlier, he was number two almost in Captain Amrinder's government as a minister. So, his kind of rise was also ruffling, a lot of old guard in Punjab Congress. There are many senior leaders who have been, dyed in the wool congressmen, and they were uncomfortable with the kind of, leverage he was getting from the high command and the way he had got ambitious to replace Captain Amrinder. So now that the party has taken this consensual call on Channi, I think the it has been done after a lot of behind the scene homework. And apparently, Sidhu has been placated by High Command. We all know that Sidhu enjoys a very close equation with the Gandhi siblings, both Rahul and Priyanka Gandhi.
Right.
And so it is, very obvious that, the party has been able to mollify him and to kind of bring him on board with regard to its decision.
सवाल ये है, which is what my question is. They have been able to mollify him right now. Rahul Gandhi's made all the right noises at that rally, but till, I mean, Sidhu being Sidhu, he's a very mercurial in his approach and very vocal when he is hurt or upset. How long will this silence last? How long will the
Uh,
unity last?
well, Aditi, my guess would be as good as yours. But having said that, Sidhu also doesn't have any option. He had to lump it, so to say, because he can't jump ship. He can't be a rock. He can't, rock the boat, of the Congress. Time is too short. So I guess he has reconciled, to a position where he plays an important role. And Rahul Gandhi, very explicitly said that, we believe in grooming leaders and Sidhu's Punjab model, which he has been tom-tomming about, would be implemented. Channi also said the same thing. So I guess there has been some kind of secret understanding which the party high command has, worked out with Sidhu, because at the moment, the challenge for the party is to come back to power. And so they think that Channi is a better bet. He can be an electoral asset for the party,
Hmm.
and put it in the reckoning. So I think Sidhu has, as they say, he would live to fight another day. But I agree that knowing Sidhu's kind of very kind of temperamental way of politics.
Yeah.
Uh, he won't be happy playing the second fiddle for too long, and he will wait for his time. And right now, his priority is his election from Amritsar East,
Yes,
where
that
he
is.
yes,
That is the
where
other
he
thing.
yes, yes. So where he is kind of, locked in a very tough contest now, with the Akali leader Bikram Singh Majithia deciding to contest against Navjot Sidhu. So suddenly the stakes for Sidhu in this election, in his own election, have become higher by a couple of notches. So his it is now a kind of battle for political survival for Sidhu. I mean, he has to win this election. Otherwise there will be a serious question mark on Sidhu's political career. So I think Sidhu has, for the moment, he has reconciled to this situation, and he must have been, as I am, picking up from the Congress sources throughout the day. I was talking to, people in the party. There is a broader sense that Rahul Gandhi hasn't said no to Navjot Sidhu, no to his ambition. He has only asked him to wait for his time. And tomorrow, if party comes to power, Charanjit Singh Channi becomes chief minister, who knows, after some time, the party would unfold some kind of power sharing deal where Channi makes way for Navjot Sidhu. Because Aditi, also the age is on Sidhu's side. I mean, he is just 58-year-old, and his rise has been phenomenal in Congress, and he enjoys a tremendous chemistry with the Gandhi family, which is a huge asset for him.
Hmm.
So I
Hmm.
guess right now he has agreed to go by what the High Command has decided in terms of anointing Channi.
Tell me about Sunil Jakhar. Sunil Jakhar's getting up and saying that he will not be a part of electoral politics. Now, Sunil Jakhar was another person who was in the CM race, but also was not in the CM race. But he was definitely the choice of quite a few, quite a large number of MLAs at the time that Amarinder Singh left the party, and was shown the door. So tell me, how do you see Sunil Chakar saying that he is no longer going to be a part of electoral politics? Does this, do you sense anywhere that he is probably miffed with the high command, because he has gone on record talking about why do we need a sick face, and this kind of identity politics he has sort of criticized.
Well, definitely. Sunil Jakhar has been cut up with the High Command ever since
And he
his
is here. He has joined us now. Mr. Jackar
wonderful.
has joined us now. Welcome to the show, sir. We had been missing you all this while. And, thanks for joining us. Let me, if you can you hear me properly?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Perfect. Perfect. Yes, absolutely, sir. Your voice is absolutely perfect. Let me just straight away off the bat ask you, why are you leaving active electoral politics? A
Before
lot
I
of that.
answer that, let me first apologize for this delay. And hello,
No problem.
Vinayakji, how are you? Good to see you
I'm
again.
fine.
It's been a while. Yeah.
Good evening, Jakhar Saab.
I I have said it publicly. I'm not retiring from what you call like what they were yesterday asking me, even while I was with Rahulji, that I believe you are quitting Congress. No, I'm not quitting Congress. I'm
Right.
part and parcel of Congress. In fact, Congress is in my DNA. I inherited it, and I have been with Congress all along. So there is no question of my quitting Congress. But yes, I have hung my boots as far as active politics, or what you call electoral politics, is concerned. I've had it enough, and I think it's about time to say goodbye to electoral politics.
Okay, but when you say you've had enough, we want to know why. Because you're one of the most senior leaders in the parties, and especially in Punjab Congress. There are MLAs who swear by you. You yourself said that there were 42 MLAs who were standing with you and wanted you to become the chief minister. Why are you moving out of politics? I mean, it can't just be the fact that where I was hearing your bite to ANI. It can't just be the fact that you feel that you're growing old.
This whole process has left a very bad taste. It's not that I was denied or nothing. I was not even in the contention. I'm grateful for all the 42 MLAs who still repose their faith in me. Because we have a saying in Punjab, Vinayak ji would bear me out. They say once a Patwari is retired, they don't even offer him a cup of tea. And Patwari is, let me tell you, in rural areas, Patwari wields more power than the deputy commissioner. So they don't even consider him worth a cup of tea. So I'm neither a MLA nor a PCC president. Still, they have given their faith, which is to me a big, I'll say, validation of my 20 years in active politics. And tapasya safal hone ki baat, I would say, rajnaitik tapasya safal hui. But the way this entire episode unfolded and the way these caste and identity basis issues were raised by nobody less than, it is no secret. She came out in open and record saying only a Sikh can be chief minister, and some my colleagues here holding very high positions went on to buttress that charge that Punjab will be set on fire if you make Sunil the PC as the CM of Punjab. So I told Rahulji that it will not be possible for me to work with these people anymore, and that's the reason when he wanted to assign me this duty of to be the deputy chief minister. I said, I don't want a consolation prize. I was not even qualified for that position, where I'm lucky that because of your trust in me, I was even considered to a large extent. That was because everybody knew the kind of attention which he has always been kind to me, Rahulji. So maybe that was the reason, but still, so I could share with him that, sorry, I will not be able to work with such people who have this kind of attitude. And when the politics get this muddy, it was better to call it a day.
Do you believe that the Congress High Command has probably not handled it correctly? Uh, this whole question of identity politics actually coming out in the open and talking in this manner. Do you believe that the High Command could have handled it better, or your senior colleagues could have handled the situation better? Because we all know that identity politics as part of our polity. It's sad that we're talking about it in 2022, but it is a fact that identity
It
politics.
may be a fact for any other party but for Congress. The Congress, the biggest strength is that we are a secular party and we don't indulge not like this the way they have done it. And it is not the high command. Because I don't, maybe Mrs. Soni, she holds a very high position. She is advisor to Congress president, but she is not the end of Congress. She is not Congress. And these people here, I don't think they have, like some of them have sneaked into Congress recently. Their views don't really reflect Congress views. No, I don't think is anything. Congress ideology does not is not based on their thought process. No, it's not. I have nothing, but there's nothing wrong in high command. I would say, even today I've said it earlier also, it is one of his most significant decision of Rahul Gandhi that he had the courage of conviction. He went ahead with this and made a man from a humble background as a chief minister of Punjab, where it was almost considered that it is not something which will not happen in Punjab. That is not the thing. It is the issue that these people have touched the raw nerve of Congress, that they raised this issue that appointing a non-Sikh or a Sunil or a Hindu will ignite Punjab and break this kind of a amity. Then it came to amity and peace in Punjab. Obviously, they were left with no chance, and even I were in their place, I would not like to take any chances at all. As far as the situation is Punjab, the amity of Punjab is concerned, this is very hard. That amity has been there. It was not even disturbed during the dark days of terrorism. ISI couldn't achieve it. Even after AK-47 could not achieve it, like when they took out people from the bus based on their religion and identity, they were shot. No, but these kind of words used by somebody sitting so high a position, people holding such high position in the state government, this was the issue. And this is a fact that these people are here, and I will have to deal with them if I am to be here. So it was better to call it a day. That was it. There's nothing beyond that.
Is the High Command talking to you and trying to get you back on the playing field instead of you sitting? Because these elections are important, and
I am
your
very much part. Sorry for
yes,
breaking, but yes, I'm very much part and parcel of Congress. Here
yes,
right
you're
now
part
we
of
are
the
working
Congress,
on.
but
We
you're
are
saying
working.
that you're not going to contest elections anymore.
Yes. I'm not. Neither I'm contesting now, nor do I intend to contest in the future.
Do you have there been efforts by the High Command, by Rahul Gandhi, to reconcile with you?
There is no reconciliation required.
Not
I'm very much
reconcile,
willing.
as in, no, not reconcile. Sorry, the term was wrong. To sort of get you back into the fold and make you understand that maybe you should not hang up your boots from electoral politics. You still
That
have
is,
many
I
more
think I
years.
had a very long chat with him when this issue came up and all this deputy chief ministers of the campaign committee and all that. Yes, I said I am with the party, and whatever I can do as a campaign committee or anything, I will do it. But that's it. No, they don't have to mollycoddle me for anything. No, nothing.
Right. So let me talk to you about Punjab Congress now. Let me talk to you about the decision that you hailed Mr. Gandhi for actually taking the call and biting the bullet and naming Mr. Channi as the chief ministerial face of Punjab for the Congress. Uh, do you believe that Channi is the right choice in this scenario, and why? Because I know that you believe that he is the right choice because you've said it as much before, but why do you feel so?
Though this was a right. You are talking about yesterday. You are talking about the choice made
Yes,
4 months ago.
yesterday, the decision to
This,
announce
this,
Mr.
this,
Channi as the
this.
chief ministerial candidate.
I think this was the writing on the wall. Anything else would have come to me as a surprise or a political shock if there was any other decision than this. You don't change decisions about chief ministership just because somebody is asking for it. It's not something which is to be handled so lightly that you took a call 4 months ago and all of a sudden you decide that now you don't like him, and not only you are doubting your own decision-making ability, you are undermining the authority of the incumbent chief minister. No, this is not done. I don't think it will be politically prudent to disturb him or give him chance. I think the decision to appoint him was taken after deliberations, thorough deliberations, and looking at the not only because Punjab scenario in Punjab, Congress is a national party. We have to look at the national implications, and I think whatever happened with this, all these statements and whatnot about the identity issues, I think it was a good political decision. I said it then only. I reiterate again now. Rahul Gandhi ji ended up breaking a glass ceiling, which people are not even looking at it because it was almost taken for granted that these people will never have now they're saying about Hindu and Sikh, the same thing was said about SC community also, that no, they will not have a chance. So he did break a glass ceiling, but the issue is that some of his colleagues or some of my colleagues have created another ceiling in the process. He broke one, they put up another one. That is another thing that maybe he will have to tackle on later on. But he has really shown courage of his conviction that he believed in something, he has implemented it, and also at the same time without putting peace and amity of Punjab under any doubts or any jeopardy. I think it was a very good decision on his part, and that he has again reaffirmed it yesterday. I was always, if nobody asked me my opinion, but if they had asked me, I would have said, please don't you. First of all, I said, the very this question should not have arisen in the first place. That should
Hmm.
we declare or not declare it? Why? Then you are undermining his authority. So I think it was a good decision then. It is good decision now. So no problem with that.
Okay, the manner in which it was announced, I'm sure that because that was not playing into identity. I mean, there was no. I mean, the fact that there is a 30% Dalit vote bank that the Congress is looking at in Punjab, many analysts and experts have said that that is possibly the reason that Channi has been chosen with Sidhu or you. But do you believe that the manner in which it was announced? Because I think he didn't even mention the word Dalit when Rahul Gandhi was announcing his name. He spoke purely in terms of a poor man from the poor constituency. That is basically the constituency of the Congress, the poor, and that sort of also drives into this whole idea of two Indias, which I think he also spoke in his
Yeah,
speech in
he
his
did
parliament.
mention. So
Do you
yes,
believe?
this is because poverty has no caste. Poverty is cutting across all caste and sects and religions. So I think that way he has addressed a much larger area, and at the same time, and it cuts across the whole of India. So that's why I said we are a national party, not only from Punjab's perspective, but even at a national level. He has taken a very good decision. He has walked the talk. He has put his money where his mouth is, and I think this will all those naysayers and those who doubt in his capacities of taking decisions. I think he has taken a wonderful decision, and I think this should send a message across the country.
All right, I want to talk to you about Sidhu, sir. You know, you've been a veteran. You've seen the entire drama played out. You've seen the entire drama play out between Channi and Sidhu, and how Sidhu has been vying for this top job, but obviously he didn't get it in the end. There was this show of unity in Jalandhar, where on the stage everyone held hands and clicked for pictures together, stood for pictures together. Uh, is that just a follow up? Do you believe going forward? Because Sidhu, being Sidhu, he's a very mercurial politician. He speaks from his heart, and if he's hurt, he'll speak out. Do you believe that this unity will hold for long?
I hope so. I have no reason to doubt his commitment because that day in Jalandhar, Rahulji himself had said that both these people who traveled with me from Amritsar to Jalandhar, it's about an hour and a half drive, I would say, and that they both impressed upon me that they both wanted that the Chief Minister's face should be announced, that they both say the people of Punjab, worker of Congress, even the opposition parties have announced, everybody wants it, and that we will abide by your decision. It was at their insistence that he agreed to it, which I personally think it should not have been done. Going was good, but even now that it has been raked, this issue has come to fore. He has addressed it as quickly as he could and said all the people who doubted that whether he is going to Channi is going to be a night watchman or is going to be here to stay for the whole run. So that doubt has been now settled, and I think he has done the best possible option given the circumstances.
I just want to bring in Ramesh. Ramesh, if you're listening to us, before you came in, Sunil ji, Ramesh was talking in terms of how Sidhu will not be really content at playing second fiddle for long. He might have said, okay, right now, but he will not be content with this. Ramesh ji, do you want to come in here?
Yeah, Aditi, I endorse what Jakhar Saab had just said with regard to the Congress game plan, on Mr. Channi. On Sidhu, my sense is that he has reconciled to this new situation, and I don't think he would kind of create a situation for the party which would be embarrassing or can be politically damaging. So he is a very pragmatic politician. Yes, he is very impulsive too. So I guess he will wait for his time now. And, as I was telling you that, his rise in the Congress has been very fast. I mean, he joined the party only 5 years ago. he became a minister, virtually number 3 in Captain Amarinder government, and then he was elevated as state Congress chief. So age is on his side. So he will have to wait for his turn. As Rahul also said in Ludhiana yesterday that this Congress believes in grooming its
Hmm.
leaders. So I guess Sidhu has more or less reconciled to High Command's decision, and the way he endorsed it, at Ludhiana, it pretty much kind of evident that he
So
has.
so okay. So Mr. Jakhar, you are you confident that Sidhu will be content at playing second fiddle to? I mean, yes, the elections will happen, and if the Congress comes to power, and if Mr. Channi becomes the chief minister again, do you believe that Sidhu will be content playing second fiddle for long, or will some action has will some more mollycoddling need to take place?
Whether it is Mr. Sidhu or whether it is somebody else, because we have many contenders, maybe they were not as vocal as Sidhu ji has been about gunning for this position. But I can tell you, Vinayak ji would vouch me that there have been at least 4 or 5 I know who had their achkans ready to be sworn in, and they maybe are still waiting, biding for the time. But at the same time, whether him or these people, it would be unnatural to think that they will not be a heartburn in Sidhu's case, who thought that maybe he is in the reckoning. So the heartburn is aside, but I agree with what Vinayak ji said, that he has come to terms with it, being pragmatic, or he has accepted it, but he has come to terms with it. But I think, yes, he can again stake his claim later on. First, the whole idea which he himself has been saying is that let's first win the election. Let there be a government. Let there first try to ensure that we will be again having a Congress chief minister in Punjab. And then he can stake his claim, or like he was all along saying, that he needs to be in a position to exercise authority, that he doesn't want to be a darshini ghoda, as he calls it, not
Hmm.
something to be put on a display in some shelf somewhere. So yes, there could be ways and means of trying to empower him, that yes, he is more concerned about the agenda that he talks about, Punjab agenda, or he's all these things that he talked about, the workers and everything. These are issues. Rahulji himself yesterday mentioned that yes, we endorse, everybody has been saying that yes, workers should get a chance, not the relatives, the one who get elected. And model-wise, some of the points which he's raising is already there. Everybody wants this the loot of states' resources to be stopped. Yes, that should not be a problem. There could be ways and means. And politics is an art of it's not a science. You can't have a formula whether it is a Punjab model or something, or a Sidhu
Hmm.
model or Channi model or something. You have to reconcile these differences, and to art of impossibles. You have to put it together. So maybe there
So,
are ways
and
and means to.
there is the Jakhar model then, which is
No,
uh,
Jharkhand model is
says
that, yeah,
stay
I'm
away,
like,
stay away if you
no,
can't beat them, stay away.
I'm no, to me it was that, and I'm to even compare myself, but I draw, let's say, inference. I can only say the inference is that it was that South Africa model where Gandhiji was asked to step out of bogie because he was not Angrez. To me,
Hmm.
Punjab is this what Mrs. Soni has virtually endorsed is a political apartheid. They could have. I was never in the race. I was not in MLA. You tell me, Sunil, it cannot be because we are. It could have been done in a decent way. But
Hmm.
Punjab has never, or I've never felt a second-class citizen in Punjab. Punjab does not have a second-class bogey like Mahatma Ji had to face. In Punjab, every citizen is a first-class citizen, and I am as good a citizen or bad as anybody else. So this is not an issue. It must have been our own insecurities or inferiority complex playing out that I could have been the chief minister had I been sick. No, every Punjabi has welcomed me with an open heart, which Punjab is known about. So this is not a issue. This is I have no model. I have like Vinayak also said that he has age is on his side. I'm 68 in 3 days. Can't go around messing up with these people who have this kind of views. So that's okay with me. Yes, they are
Is
thinking
it an
they are well.
expectation? Is there an expectation, at least, that you have from the High Command to resolve
No,
these?
I think I've gotten more than what I could have even asked for. Forget about what I was expecting or something. They have made me, earlier I was the CLP leader. Nobody asked me about my identity at that time. He made me, after I lost my election, he made me the PCC president. I resigned after this parliamentary debacle. Then also, Mrs. Gandhi, no, Sunil, you can continue. What more could I expect? It was, I feel that this, once a one-line resolution was passed in the CLP meeting on that fateful 18th of September. They said, whatever the High Command decides, we will abide by it. That is one thing I've not yet figured out. What made them take an opinion poll? There was no need. There was no race. I was not even
Probably
the
they were
contender.
taking a leaf out of Arvind Kejriwal's book.
No, that time there was no, it was not a public opinion. They asked with the MLAs. So I don't know, maybe Vinayak ji knows more than I do, but I haven't got a answer to this question. Why? What made them take this? They could have appointed Mr. Channi then and there only. They could have appointed Mr. Sidhu. It was this delay which caused, first it was Mr. Sukhjinder's name, then it was Channi's name, and maybe some other also in the meanwhile tried to lobby for their position. So that could have been avoided. And definitely what was not called for was what they have done now with this. This is not Congress, what Congress is known about. Congress is the only party, and I'm quoting Rahul Gandhi in the last parliamentary board meeting in when this Lok Sabha's tenure finished, 2019, before the elections. He made a very strong statement, and I'm really impressed by what he said. That day I saw a real statesman speaking, a man who can head this large party of their country. He said every other party, they're not bad or good. Maybe they just represent certain interests, certain religion or a sect or a region or a particular section of society. But Congress is the only party which represents the entire nation. Every community, every single person is represented by Congress. And even though we are faced against all odds, we have, this is our moral duty, is not our political compulsion, but it is our moral duty also that we have to, because he was referring to, in that last year and a half where I was an MP, the whole parliament was in a log jam. All the time I spent in my 1.5 years was standing in the well of the house. And he said, I feel bad. My senior colleagues have to, those who don't have to indulge in this thing, they have to stand in the well. But this is, I can't help it. This is a moral obligation on our part that we have to, if we are not going to defend constitution, if we are not going to defend democracy and these issues which are being raised, then who will? It is our moral duty. And I think this is what Congress is. It's not what Mrs. Soni or some people here say. No, I don't believe in them. These people don't deserve to be in public life.
What I'm hearing, sir, is that you have no complaints with the High Command.
No, not
But
at all.
it's purely
No, High Command is a very large term. Maybe there are people who
by
consider themselves
agreeing.
part of
Okay.
the High Command. I have not only I have no complaints against Rahul ji or Sonia ji, I have highest regard and respect for Sonia ji, and I have got the kind of attention and I would say the way he is with his dealings with me, I'm very, to me that's what Congress is all about.
But you are not happy with the way some of your Congress colleagues within the state unit have behaved or talked about identity politics, and which is why you exited the electoral politics race, at least, but you're
Because
going to be with the Congress. Yes.
other
You're
option was
saying-
that you fight them out and create all this ruckus which is happening right now. I think we have had enough of this tamasha going on for the last. So yeah, I don't have the patience now to
just
deal
one
with
last
this the rest of my
one
political
last
career.
question before you go, sir. This entire thing, you talked about the delay in getting in identifying and announcing the Congress's chief ministerial face with the opinion poll and all of that. This could have been done much. Do you believe that there is a electoral cost that the Congress party may have to pay with regards to this delay in announcing the chief ministerial face?
No, people have very short memory, because yesterday I had to even remind people of Lakhimpur Khedi, because nobody is interested what Sunil is creeping about or what agenda Mr. Sidhu has or Channi has or somebody else has. People want their issues to be handled and they should be told how we are going to address them. I think this is issues which we talk. This is the more than a damage to the Congress. This what they have done is that you have taken the discourse away from the real issues. Nobody is talking, everybody is talking what Sunil has said, what Channi has said, this was what they are, nobody is talking what we have been able to achieve. And we have done a lot. Dr. Manmohan Singh's tenure should have been an eye-opener for us. We did everything, but still like they could get away because we were not able to convey what our achievements and what are the real issues. People are not interested. I don't think this is maybe it gets some TRP somewhere or some newspaper, but I think people want this is maybe good for news business, but not good for people. People would like to hear what is how is this election or how is the Congress party or any other party is going to handle these issues. That I think should be the focus. But
that is not, and that has not really not been the conversation. The conversation has really been about the Punjab's chief ministerial pick. Is what you're saying? Thank you
yeah,
so much, sir, for joining us. Yeah, thank you
thank
so
you,
much for
Aditi ji.
joining us. You've given enough time to us. We hope to speak to you again. There are still many days
Yes, I
for
believe too many days.
there are too many days. Really,
They make a lot
March.
of difference.
Right, right. We'll keep waiting. Unless Ramesh has a question for you, we'd like to say thank you for joining us for this
Thank you
broadcast.
so much, Aditi ji.
Thank you.
Bye bye, Vinayak
Thank
ji.
you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Jafar.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye bye.